Hello people, how we doing? So this is going to be the start of my Locked Up series. So basically this series is going to be, well, kind of showing you what I'm going to be doing through the kind of rest of lockdown. This is probably a bit late to it. I did start trying to do a kind of series of weight start at the very first lockdown, but hey ho, we're here now. So this is January 22nd, it's a Friday. And as I say, this kind of whole series is just going to be sort of be showing you what I'm doing through lockdown to try to basically keep in shape, keep building muscle mass, keep fit, keep healthy, and just kind of keep on top of my diet as well. I'll show you kind of bits of my routine that I'm basically doing, again to kind of make things all run smoothly for myself, right? As well as that, I'll be showing you my training I'm doing and giving you kind of some training tips there. Maybe you can get some info from some inspo from that training. So while I'm in this lockdown, I'm going to kind of prioritise two main parts of my body to basically kind of put more focus onto, and that's basically going to allow me to do kind of not minimal training, but don't have to do as much training, but still kind of get some development there. So the kind of two main areas I'm going to be focusing on is going to be my arms and my back, basically because it's areas I want to build up now. As well as that, I'll also be trying to maintain kind of one cardio session per week, and it's kind of one of my goals to do that every day of the year, every week this year, I'll get at least one cardio session in. So we're 3 weeks in, I've got 3 cardio sessions done so far, which is not too bad. Seems like a really small goal, but for me, cardio is somewhere I've always lacked. So I felt starting off small would kind of be the best place to start, and then if it gets easier, just build on it for there. But it's definitely something I kind of want to maintain because it's something that I've really lacked in my own personal development, let's just say. So it's a Friday, and I'll kind of tell you what I would usually do, right? So I'm not going to run you through my full morning routine because I've kind of just started a new morning routine. I don't want to go and say I'm doing this before I get into an actual proper routine of doing it. So once that's kind of established more, I'll show you exactly what I'm doing now, right? But most days, what I usually do when I first wake up is I'll get plenty of water into me. So this is like a 2.5 litre water bottle. I'll try and drink probably about at least 3/4 of that before 12 o'clock. And then from there, as well as that, I'll also kind of fast in the morning, so I won't eat anything at all until roughly about 11:30, 12 in the day. The reason I do this is because I'm a greedy bastard when it comes to eating. Basically, I eat big portions, and I prefer to eat big portions rather than smaller portions. So I would rather maybe eat, say for example, 3 or 4 bigger meals throughout the day rather than like maybe say 5, 6 smaller meals throughout the day. So just to kind of give you some insight in that, the actual size of your meal doesn't matter, meal timing doesn't matter. What matters most is total daily intake. The only people that is going to really matter about meal timing is, like, let's just say a really high level bodybuilder, which I'm not, so it doesn't matter, right? But it's now kind of getting to that time. I think it is, what time is it just now? So it's, right now it's 20 to 12, and I'm going to go start making breakfast for me and my girlfriend. So I basically start my breakfast off, start my day obviously with I call it breakfast, but it's more lunchtime. And being Scottish or British or whatever, I like a traditional kind of fry up for my breakfast. Bear in mind, you kind of usually have the kind of normal foods you would have in a fry up because they're super high in fat, right? So I kind of go for the lean alternatives. So it's basically, it gives you that kind of feeling of eating a fry up. You get plenty of protein into your diet at the start of the day, and I just find it really easy to stick to. So I'll go and show you what I'm doing with that. And as well as that, I've got another kind of few things going down the day. So just go and get started with the breakfast and show you how that looks. So please tune in for the rest of this series. Again, there'll be tons to learn from it. You'll get to see what I got to do, and you'll be able to kind of copy that and kind of apply it to your own training, your own routine, and hopefully go get some results. Hello, so I'm about to go start cooking the fry up, the breakfast. By the way, please excuse my wash machine in the background. Hopefully you can hear me clearly enough, right? So I'm currently going to make breakfast for me and my girlfriend. So what she's going to have, right, is basically two of these sausages. So they're basically lean pork sausages, and they're 66 calories per sausage. And then she also has that on like one thin bagel. So I think that whole breakfast works out to like 300 calories for her. I think it's maybe even just 250 calories actually. So it's obviously super low calorie and pretty awesome. Kind of has that kind of fry up feel to it, if you will. You kind of almost forget eating healthy, if you will. What I'm going to have is I'm undecided on 2 or 4 of these sausages right now because I'm that hungry, and then I'm going to have 4 slices of this turkey bacon. So just to give you some numbers, these square sausage are 90 calorie per sausage, and they have 10 grams of protein per sausage as well. And then the turkey bacon is only 32 calories per slice, and I think it's, for 2 slices it's 17 grams of protein, so I'm going to have 4, so that'll be like 34 grams of protein. So the 2 sausages as well, that'll be like 50 grams of protein straight off the bat. And then as well as that, I'll also have 2 eggs, and then the 1 bagel as well, right? So all in, that's probably, depending on how many sausages I have, probably between 50 to 70 grams of protein straight away, start of your day for breakfast, right? So I'm actually going to put the macros on it on screen right now, so it'll go ding right there. What I'll do, what I say though is, yes, so your protein intake should be spread out quite evenly throughout the day for like most optimal results, right? But again, I'm not at that stage where I need to like fake every fucking inch of muscle mass count. Like I can deal with not making the most optimal gains, because again, I'm not at some high level bodybuilder. This just fits my lifestyle much better, and that's what I would rather have. I'd rather have a diet that fits my lifestyle. That's what I recommend to all my clients, to have a diet that fits your lifestyle. It's just going to be so much easier to adhere to and stick to. It's basically going to give you better results over time, right? So I built up a great physique compared to where I was, from sticking with these results, and because I've stuck with them for so long, the results just build and build and build on each other. So that's what I'm going to recommend. So I'll show you this when it's complete. Another tip I almost forgot to mention was using George Foreman's and non-stick pans with 1 cal spray. And what that's basically going to do is reduce the amount of oils or fats or whatever you need to use to basically cook your meats on a pan with. And of course, if you don't use oils, your meat will stick to it. But the non-stick basically reduces the amount of oil you need to use to, well, pretty much 0. But I still like to use the 1 cal spray because it still kind of sticks a wee bit, even though it is non-stick. So yes, 1 cal spray is essential also. So breakfast is served. Right, so I ended up going for 4 square sausage, right? Again, they're the skinny square sausage, but I'm an animal when it comes to eating. I can eat a lot, right? And I got an extra bonus bit of the turkey bacon, because basically usually the pack has 8 slices in it, but I used 4 previously and then there was 5 left in it, so get it up, you Madisons, I done you this time. So what I basically do, for the 3 square sausage there, there's 1 on the bagel, 2 bits there, 3 bits of turkey bacon there, 2 eggs, again it's a skinny bagel. Usually I would have brown sauce with this as well. Brown sauce is pretty low calorie, by the way, if you're ever wondering. But I have none in the house. And as well as that, have a little cup of tea to wash it down. So realistically, right, that's a pretty awesome breakfast. It tastes good. It's no your typical healthy breakfast, but it's good and it gets results, right? Obviously there's very high protein here, low carbs, relatively low fat. The biggest sources of fat are actually 2 eggs. The square sausage has barely any little fat in it. And I actually just done the numbers on this as well to see how much calories, protein that are in. So bear in mind it's 1:45 now. So basically, I had to go to the shops and get some stuff. Basically it's 1:45 and I've had, so after this I'll have 850 calories basically, right? So it sounds like a lot, but if you imagine if I had breakfast and lunch together, that's probably around about that. And I've now got 103 grams of protein into the day. I only usually have 170, so I've done more than half my daily protein intake in 1 meal, which is awesome. It means for the rest of my meals, and I've got a lot of carbs and fats left, sorry I meant to say that. It means for the rest of my meals I can have more balanced meals that are a bit more carb heavy. So this is basically called carb backloading. I do this pretty much every day because I would rather have, like, say with my dinner at night time, a big serving of pasta, a big serving of rice, etc, etc. So that's what it's going to do. I'm going to get tucked into this. Peace out. Hello, so I finished up, just finished up breakfast there, went down very well, and now basically what I'm going to do, so I'm going to train in about an hour's time. So for this hour I'll kind of just speak with current online clients, and I have a few inquiries to go and deal with as well. So that is basically the plan for the next hour, and after I get into that I'll go through my kind of workout with you. So the workout is going to be an upper body workout, but it's going to be mostly focused on, again, my kind of arms and back. But I will still hit my shoulders and chest in there. But basically, because I'm focusing mostly on back and arms, right now when I'm training my chest and shoulders, I'm mostly focusing about, like, more maintaining that, right? So you don't need to hit it with as much volume, as much sets, as much reps, etc, etc. So that'll be the kind of plan for going into that workout, but I'll see you in an hour's time. Yo, so that's me finished that wee bit of work there. So I've kind of spoke with my kind of current clients, and there's a few people kind of joining on who have to speak to, but I'll probably do that just throughout training, just kind of general conversation to kind of start with. But now it's going to be time to go and start training, right? So as I said, I'm going to be training my upper body. So I'll just take you through my workout, what I'm basically doing, etc, etc, right? If you want to know the sets and reps and all that sort of stuff, just comment them down below. I'm not going to do any kind of fancy editing for this because, well, it's hard to do a good edit when you're using a tripod, basically, right? So this will be kind of more informative, if you will, right? I'll probably do a voiceover over the movements I'm doing, actually. That's what I'm most likely to do. In fact, that's what I'm definitely going to do. But I will give you some tips throughout that as well, right? Maybe if I'm training, I think of something when I'm doing it, I'll give you that tip, right? But the first 2 tips I'm going to give you, in fact, no, the first 3 tips I'm going to give you, right, for training at home, right? So training at home, the hardest thing to do is to get in the right mood, right? So, let me just get some water in firstly. So, first thing to do, I would recommend is have some sort of caffeinated beverage, right? You don't need to do this, right? But it's just a tip that I really enjoy myself. So I'll have a cup of coffee before I go and train. So roughly about 15 minutes before I go train, I'll just drink a black coffee. You can have milk in it if you like. I'm just using it I have a black coffee to save calories, basically. And then as well as that, I'll put music on for like the first 15 minutes. So I'll usually just put my headphones on. And then 5 minutes before I go and train, before I go and do the actual like resistance training, so like your squats, fucking press ups, whatever that is, resistance bands, whatever it may be, I'll go and do a 5-minute cardiovascular warm up. So I'm going to just go and skip at the side of my house, just super simple to do, don't need a lot of space, etc, etc. But that's basically going to get you firstly warmed up and going to help prevent injury, but 2, because your heart's then kind of going, it's easier to get into a workout. You're not coming for sitting, lying still, not moving, to kind of go in and trying to train, right? So go get moving 5 minutes before. So if you don't have skipping ropes, go maybe jog around your block, or maybe walk up and down the stairs for 5 minutes, or maybe go walk around your block, or whatever it may be. Just get active for like 5 to 10 minutes before you start training, and it means when you're training it will actually be much easier to get into the swing of things, right? So make sure you go and do that. So I'm going to go drink my coffee and that, get warmed up, and then I'll just basically show you when I'm kind of going through my workout. Peace out. In fact, before I say peace out, one major tip, right, if you're training at home, especially if you're a boy trying to build muscle, right, I do obviously have female clients, right, but I'm coming from my perspective, so I'm coming from a boy's perspective. A pull-up bar, if you can get your hands on a pull-up bar, you'll make insane gains throughout the whole lockdown. So pull-up bars are probably the #1 piece of equipment I would recommend to anybody. Reason being, your back is such a big muscle group and it's super hard to stimulate with bodyweight movements, whereas your chest, shoulders, legs, even your arms can get hurt with bodyweight movements, right? So if you get a pull-up bar, it means you can hit every muscle group basically with minimal equipment. Bands are good, but I would say a pull-up bar is better. Just my opinion though. Hello, so firstly we're going to be starting with a wide grip pull-up. So with these, I'm basically going to do 2 sets of these, and then I'm going to go into another variation of pull-ups. So the reason I'm starting with these is because they're going to be the biggest exercise and help me get kind of pre-exhausted, and again, one of my main focuses is my back. Pull-ups are awesome for developing your back. With these, I'm basically going to make sure I'm using a full range of motion. As you can see, I'm coming all the way down to my arms basically straight, and all the way up. And what I do with these as well is go to 1 rep shy of failure, so I don't exhaust myself too much before that set is done. Before I'm going into my next set. I've done 2 sets of them, and then this is I think this is my 4th set of the close grip pull-ups. As you can see, my hands are closer together, palms are facing towards me, and the reason I'm doing these is basically to hit more biceps. As I says, back and arms is one of my main focuses. These will be hitting your back still, but they also just get a little bit of biceps in there as well. Next up, we're moving on to one of my favourite exercises of the moment. I call this a lat prayer. It has multiple different names, but I just call it a lat prayer. Pretty self-explanatory, it looks like you're praying. So this is going to be amazing for hitting your lats, right? This is one of the very few exercises you can do that hits your lats without using your biceps, meaning your lats are doing all the work, okay? So with pull-ups, your arms might tire out before your back muscles actually do. So doing this after you've done your pull-ups means when every other back exercise you're doing, your lats are going to be much more tired in them, and therefore you kind of target your lats more with each back exercise you are hitting. As I say, this is a point in my physique I'm really trying to grow right now, so I've been doing a lot of these. Next up, we're going to go into a pushing movement, as we've just done 2 pulling movements, so backs pulling, shoulders and chest is pushing, okay? So this is a shoulder movement, it's called a pike press up. This exercise is actually quite difficult, to be honest, and it's really good for doing body weight exercises for your shoulder. So this is basically going to target kind of front delts, the front of your shoulder basically, as well as that it will hit the other heads, but mostly the front of your shoulder. As well as that, I did also superset this with 2 other exercises, and that will be, next up we're going to go on to our lateral raise. Lateral raise is a staple in all my workouts. I either do it with bands or cables or dumbbells, as you can see here. I just find that exercise every guy should be doing, because let's face it, you always want to have wider shoulders, and this is going to help really cap off your shoulder. I've done plenty of videos explaining this, but basically take it up fast, control it down slow, and don't let the weights completely relax at the bottom. Following that, we then move on to a band variation of a rear deltoid fly. That is basically going to hit the back of your shoulder. Again, rear deltoids are a muscle group I love to hit, because again they give you a nice rounded capped shoulder, and as I'm focusing on the back of my physique, they'll really make that pop as well. Moving on, I'm now going to move on to a chest movement. So I went back, shoulders, chest. With your chest, right, you're going to be limited depending on what weight you can basically get. If you have a barbell and dumbbell set up, you're fine, no problem at all. If you only have bands, that's going to be a great superset for you to still grow your chest, okay? So what we do first of all is a chest fly. That is basically a chest isolation movement where only your chest is working, therefore it's a little bit weaker, okay? And then that is basically going to exhaust that muscle. And then we're going to go straight into press-ups, right? And what this basically does, as we've supersetted both these together, it makes your chest muscles really tired before you go and start doing the press-ups. Then we put them in to do the press-ups, they work even harder, and it's going to make it super simple to grow. Another tip for press-ups to make them, again, even harder is if you maybe put your hands on a couple of books and go down deeper into your press-up, you feel a massive stretch, and it'll just make it so much harder. But give that a try and let me know how it goes for yourself. Next up, I've got the taps off, right? So tops off for 2 reasons here. 1, it was really hot, but 2, I want to show you kind of the muscle that's working here, right? So the lats, see if you look just behind my shoulder here, you see like a big kind of muscle coming underneath my armpit. That is your lat, right? When I'm doing this row, I want to let that stretch as much as I can all the way to the very bottom, and this is basically going to make the lighter load so much harder. And this is called a full range of motion. You should be doing this with every exercise, but I really wanted to highlight it on this. So when I'm doing this, I'm basically letting this come all the way down again to a full stretch, and then bringing my elbow up as high as I can. Really try to focus on squeezing my back together. Again, coming down nice and slow on this movement. Now, last but not least, we have a tricep for my arms. Tricep basically means 3 exercises back to back. So first up, I'm going to do a diamond press up. This is really good for your triceps. Requires no equipment whatsoever, and they're actually pretty hard. Also, you have a wee bit of chest in there as well. But I'm again mostly doing it for my triceps. And then straight after that, I'm going to go into a tricep kickback. This exercise is really good for at-home workouts, as you can use a very light load and really feel your tricep work. Basically what you do is you put your tricep into a weaker position, and it means again that lighter load is much harder to use. Main point with this is keep your elbow up nice and high through the movement, and think about just your forearm moving. And then last but not least, I move on to bicep curls. So bicep curls are super self-explanatory. I like to put my arms out nice and wide when I'm doing them as well. I basically just call this a W curl. Don't know if this is an actual exercise, but that's just what I call it. I prefer to do it this way. I just feel a better contraction. Give it a try. Let me know how you get on, and hopefully you enjoyed that workout. Yo, so just finished the workout, so I've obviously not edited it yet, but there should be a voiceover that went over that, telling you different tips about it, right? But just in case I forget to mention them, I'm going to just quickly touch them there. Home workout, firstly always start with the biggest exercise and try and get yourself exhausted as much as you can. That's going to make lighter weights feel a lot heavier. Shorter rest times, so I rest about 60 seconds in between sets, minus my pull-ups, do a minute and a half. Again, it's going to make the lighter loads feel harder and more challenging. Supersets, again, to make lighter loads much harder, right? So start with maybe pre-exhausting set of muscle groups. So for example, if you've only got a 20 kilo bar, don't do squats and then go into single leg stuff. Do single leg stuff and then go into squats, because then it means when you're doing the squats when both legs are working together, they'll already be tired and that lighter load will feel harder. And moving nice and slow through movements. So there's two kind of parts of each movement, right? So you've got the concentric, so I'll use my biceps for example. When the muscle is shortening, concentric, it's contracting. And then you've got eccentric, when the muscle is elongating, right? With every exercise, what you want to do when the muscle is shortening, bring it up fast, but then when it's elongating, coming down for, I would say 4 seconds, so 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up, squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same kind of movement for pretty much every exercise, right? You might find when you're doing a certain angle, so for example, maybe fucking triceps, you'll notice you're going down, that's the concentric, going down that way, and then you're coming up, that's it lengthening, right? So try and think about the muscle moving around the joint, what way it's getting longer. If you need any help with that, post it in the comments and I'll be glad to help you out. But last thing I'm going to do, or for this video anyway, is I'm going to have posting of protein pancakes. I'd just like to take this moment to say thank you very much to Cal's Meal Prep as well for the protein pancakes and the meals to use every week, right? So they're super tasty, they've got me to try more vegetables and they've helped basically me staying on track, get my protein intake through the day super easy, right? Like I literally don't have to think about it anymore. Thank you very much for them. The protein pancakes are one of my favourites. Cajun pasta is one of my favourites. Spanish chicken is one of my favourites. Katsu curry is one of my favourites. I've got a lot of favourites, right? But they're the first ones that come to mind. Check them out on Instagram at Cal's Meal Prep. They will be having a discount code for me very shortly, but I don't think they have it up and running yet. But anyway, after that I'm going to eat these and then go out for a walk for about maybe an hour, just to go, while I'm up and about, kind of full of energy to go and kind of get my steps in for the day, to help keep my body active and keep myself burning as much calories as possible. If you're finding you're somebody who's been putting on a lot of weight through lockdown, right, you probably find it's due to low activity level and high food intake, okay? So to basically try and start getting the right fucking run to start losing weight, start moving more and eating a bit less or a bit less fatty foods, right? But that is going to be all for today. Hope you liked that. Stay tuned to the next one. Again, any questions, leave them down in the comments. In fact, like the video, make sure you do that and subscribe as well, right? Bye bye.